Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Monday, June 15th, 2009. This morning I thought I'd take a look at another simple HTTP API that I've implemented in Smalltalk, and that's an interface to the Tumblr system. Tumblr is a simple little blogging platform that you can access for free, and the API to it's dead simple. There's no commenting allowed on it, which makes the API even simpler. There's not a lot to do. And if you go over here, you'll find that here's my Tumblr log, and if you search for Tumblr API, you'll find that it's pretty simple. You go in here, and it's just a bunch of URL endpoints, and the API is dead simple. JSON output for the read, I haven't done that part yet. And for pushing stuff up, you just push up URL encoded posts. So very simple stuff, not hard to work with at all. So let's go back here to my Tumblr log, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to a workspace, and we're going to do this. Create a regular post, give it my email address and password, which is how you authenticate. Notice it's passed in the clear, probably not the best thing, but that's how it works. Then you give it some tags if you want those, give it a title and a body, and this can be HTML if you want it to be. And then you just tell it to post. So I'll do this, and we'll do a do it. And now if I look at the post object that came back, so I'll inspect that, this comes back with a thing stuffed into it, a post ID. So that's the ID. If I want to edit this or delete it, I can do that. So let's leave that up, and let's go back here, and we'll go ahead and refresh this. And there it is, should be posted during today's screencast. So there it is. Now it turns out that I can't post photos to this right now because there seems to be some back-end work going on the Tumblr side itself. I got errors over the weekend when I was working on this. But in general, posting that kind of thing is pretty simple. Again, you just create a post object and then hand it the correct URL arguments, and it goes ahead and does it. Now when I implemented this, what I did is I thought the simplest way to do this was to create one of these subclasses. So I have this post object here, and it has the basic things that go into each post, and then each subclass has the particulars. So I have here things like a photo post, I have a regular post, and if you look at these guys, they have these simple pieces of information that go along with them. So they have all this basic data. And the actual posting, if I come in here, you'll find that I have this API post, add the parameters, and then just tell it to do a post to the right URL. And that just does the same exact thing as the posts that I've done for other HTTP APIs rather. So I go in here to the interface and you do this do post to. All it does is take the client, creates a request. If you've got post data, tells it to be multi-part, adds each piece of parameter to the request. And this is again using the web support. You'll notice I've got that loaded. And then down here I add the post data if it's there. And finally just execute it and hand back the response. On the client side, in the post object, that's where it knows to cache that post ID if it came back, and that way you can work with it in the future. And that's really all there is to this whole interface. One other small thing, there's kind of an interestingly misnamed interface here. Let's go here and bring this down, called Authenticate, and you'd think this is authenticating you with the system. That's not what it does at all. All it really does, if I do this, do an inspect, is it brings back some interesting data, all your Tumblr blogs with information, all your users with information. And even these are kind of interestingly misnamed. Here you have your avatar URL if you have one, whether it's your primary Tumblr log, the name, the private ID, and that's there if it has a private ID, the title of your Tumblr blog, and so on. So you've got all this information that comes back, and you could present this in some kind of neat UI. If you were going to add, say, a client posting tool, I could manage a set of Tumblr logs with this kind of information. So that's really all there is to it. Implementing this kind of thing in Smalltalk is very simple. I worked on this for a handful of hours, and most of that was interspersed with watching TV and reading books, so not very hard to do this in Smalltalk at all. And it's in the public store repository. Just look for, over here, let's go here, Tumblr interface, and it's right there. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.